Castle 2013. To me, this reboot is just nothing special, but since it follows two better medieval themes, I placed it here. It only has 5 sets, with all of them being boring remakes of older castle sets. The King's Castle is literally the same price as the last one, with blue instead of red as the main color. The Forced Ambush set is a less exciting version of the King's Carriage Ambush set. The Gold Getaway is just a smaller version of the old Skeleton's Prison Carriage. This Gateway Raid is almost the Outpost Attack. The only set I like is the $50 Dragon Mountain. It reminds me too much of the 2007 Skeleton Tower set, with the Villain's Lair and Giant Dragon, but it stands out for being a cheap way to get a dragon and some cool other good figures. But yeah, most of these are nothing special remakes of older sets, and as I said before, I wish they did something different, like have them battle against something other than Evil Knights again. The Kingdom sets were more unique because of sets like Mill Village Raid and Blacksmith Shop. At least the first few waves of Next Knights restored interest again, because I don't know if these sold well. The Bionicle reboot. Now, I'm not too into this theme. I know there's a lot of lore and characters, but I'm not here to talk about that. The reboot came out months after Hero Factory ended as a quote-unquote new construction figure line. All of the hero figures are just repetitive. At least with Hero Factory they had different sizes and stuff, but these just didn't care. The first wave had 6 protectors that each sold for $10. The main heroes were either $15 or $20. The villains were fine, but nothing special. The other waves followed a similar formula, it's just, again, nothing special. Something I appreciate about the old theme are the big sets of these vehicles and gadgets, like the Scorpion vehicle here is just plain awesome, but they don't do that, and as you can see this is basically boring Ninjago, down to the point of each element being one the ninja has. Fire, earth, lightning, water, ice, and green. Come on, at least do something different in elements. Yeah, these sold terribly, but at least we got Scorpion. Master Builder Academy. I can't even tell what this is supposed to be. I just continually saw this in LEGO catalogs from 2011 to 2013. Apparently it was a subscription service with these kits. They would feature instructions that would give tips on building techniques. There are levels that each start with and exclusive minifigures included. The only set I like is the first one with the figure and the overall unique ship design. However, the other sets are just not appealing. A lot of these sets are just really expensive. Doing research for this entry was actually tough because of how confusing this all sounded. They seemingly didn't sell too well, that's all I have to say. Life of George. While I do admire the attempt to combine LEGO elements of an online app, it just doesn't seem to have worked. The sets both cost $30 and only had 146 pieces. Also, none of these bricks were special in any way, and no minifigures, just bricks and a board. Another weird thing to note is that the sets are labeled 14 and up. Why? The app was released in October 2011 and ended 3 years later as George moved to an awesome deserted island with no internet connection.
On a tropical island, underneath a molten lava moon, hanging with the hula dancers, asking questions cause they got all the answers.
Znap. First released in 1998, this theme is basically an even worse version of K'NEX. Many compare this theme to the company. K'NEX is usually seen as a LEGO clone, but I feel it's different enough. Znap just feels like a worse version of it. Each set is labeled something basic like motorbike, bi-wing, and hook truck. The piece counts are low because of the large pieces, but all these vehicles could have been done better in Technic. And Technic was around during the time, so why didn't they just do that instead? They remind me of Duplo sets. Yes, Duplo. Just nothing creative about these, which is why it only lasted about a year. Belleville. Here's another example of LEGO taking an idea of another toy company and completely sucking at it. This time it's with Barbie. Again, the piece counts for these are very weak, and the same could go for the moldings. Just look at these. One thing I do like is the use of normal LEGO accessories, but they still do look weird with these large figures. Some of these are just, again, weird. They have these more articulated limbs to pose better, but it just doesn't work, especially for LEGO. The studs started out weird too, but they changed them, but something to note is that the theme lasted for over a decade. That is impressive that it survived the 90s and into 2008. At least with LEGO Friends, I can say that the later builds seem good, but I still can't stand the mini doll designs. I've always hated the limited body size. One last thing to note are these bear pieces. They literally used them in a favorite LEGO set of mine, the Toys R Us. It was in this dark yellow color. Yeah, I didn't even know that until researching for this list. Fusion. Here's an even worse version of Life of George, but at least with that, the app seemed competent. This is just a mess. Released over the summer of 2014, it seemed to be a really cool idea. Build something and translate it into the Fusion app. However, many reported that the app barely worked and it had lots of problems. One big one is that the app only worked with the bricks included in the sets. It was also poorly marketed, so they became shelf warmers. A total of 4 sets were released, each being $35. But the thing is, they only included some basic bricks and a plate piece. The piece counts were low and only 2 minifigures were included in the whole theme. The Create and Race set is probably the worst one, as it only seemed to be on shelves for up to 4 months. It's hard to find a complete image of the size of these, but it seems weak. I mean, what would I rather spend $35 on? 7 packs of bologna, 2 more copies of the Amazing Bulk, or some normal LEGO bricks that connect to some awful app? To me, that's a hard decision, but probably the Amazing Bulk DVDs. You can never get enough of that movie. Jack Stone. I don't even know how to start this entry, but you know how those 4+ sets use these bigger pieces for younger kids? Well, this is like that, but incredibly awful. Some of these sets literally have like 20 pieces to the whole thing. The worst part of this theme would have to be the minifigures, if I can even call them that. It's just one piece where you can't customize them. 2 sets in particular stand out to me. The first is this police headquarters set, which went for $70. Even back in 2001, the set would have been overpriced. It only has 132 pieces and is just a tower, a prison cell, and 3 vehicles. Other sets were overpriced, but this one was the worst. There's also the Super Glider set, which has 7 pieces, 2 of which is a cheap wing piece and the other is a Jack Stone figure. Many claimed this to be the worst LEGO set of all time, but as you may know, we still have 2 entries left. Gala Door. What? Oh my god. Okay, how is this even LEGO? These are just bland action figures with a recognizable brand name on it. Let's see, we got Shark Motorbike, a Transmorpher, and a Spring Rider. They also had McDonald's toys, and knowing of how great some of these toys can be, I'm glad we had the option. Some of you may not know that these are based off of a TV show called Gala Door Defenders of Our Outer Dimension, which would run for 2 seasons within a year, to 2002. The main character is Nick Bluetooth, who is able to transform his limbs. Him and some other characters must find all the pieces of a key to unlock sealed gates to a kingdom of Gala Door. Yes, a plot like this got 26 episodes of 2 seasons.
What is that?
Okay, shouldn't have been on top of me. Who landed this here? Would you mind handing me my leg?
I wouldn't go near that thing.
It's okay. He was in my dream.
The show has mediocre reviews, surprisingly, and would fall into obscurity. Its only legacy would be a poster and a t-shirt included with the Ninjago City set. Ben 10. And these were supposed to replace Bionicle back in 2010. Wow. Based off the hit Cartoon Network franchise, these 6 sets are construction figures, based off the various alien designs that theme could have worked with, but what ruins it is how simplistic they are. Too many new molds were made for this theme, with many never being used again. The only ones that were are these feet pieces and the hands, which were much better used in Hero Factory. The heads look creepy and they were extremely overpriced. Each set had around 15 to 20 pieces and would go for $15. That means you were literally paying around $1 for each piece. Again, wow. I actually kind of wanted to get some of these for how bad they are, especially the Humongosaur one, which was these ridiculous fist pieces.
Extra thick!
Sad to say that they never made a second wave for these. Hero Factory came out later in the year and, in my opinion, saved the construction figure type for LEGO.